What's up, everybody? Your favorite YouTuber here, back at it with another video. Now, today we're going to be talking about something that was heavily inspired by a video I watched, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys watched recently. Haley Alexis posted a video about how she knew America messed her up. Now, over here I have some talking points for this video as well. Very similar to hers. I only have three that relate to me very strongly. Now, for those that did not know, I have already been outside of the country and stuff like that to Asia. I went to Korea for a year, and I'm heading back to Korea at the end of this year to stay and live there for another year. This video will basically be the three biggest ways I feel like America has personally messed me up, because I recall landing in Korea for the first time. I already had these things in my head. I've talked about my experiences over and over and over again, but I haven't gone into detail with every little experience I've had over there. When I first got to Korea, I was expecting to be like attacked almost, or, you know, I expected to be put in some kind of danger at some point, but it didn't. And I felt super safe there, more so there than I did here in the United States, where everybody's armed up like cowboys. Now, the first thing I wanted to kind of jump off and start talking about is safety. America has this false sense of security, obviously. Most Americans, a typical American would think that the more armed up you are, the safer you are. If you have a lot of guns, you have some sort of weapon on you, you are 10 times as safe as a person who is not. Now, when you look at the situation, you might think, yeah, that person's probably right. But in my personal opinion, I feel like once you bring a firearm into the situation, well, it escalates whatever situation you bring yourself into, especially unprovoked, right? Like you're walking around, especially in open carry states here in America, and you have a gun on you. Most Americans who feel safe with that on them, when they do get to a place where they're not able to carry a gun, for instance, overseas, you're not able to really carry guns on you and stuff like that, they inherently feel unsafe. Why is that? As far as the safety goes and whatnot, I can tell you so many different stories on how having a gun has actually made me feel unsafe. In fact, it's caused a lot of issues and stuff that altered my perspective of having a gun forever, right? There's a lot of people that ask me if I have my own gun, do I own a gun, this, that, the third, and I don't. I feel like I don't need one, right? I don't need a gun to defend myself. I mean, there's so many other things I could do as well, and also I'm not looking for trouble. I feel like if you stay out of the spotlight, you don't instigate anybody, and you keep to yourself, 9 times out of 10, you won't be targeted for anything. However, a lot of Americans tend to disagree, and they tend to arm up to the teeth with, you know, all kinds of weapons ranging from handguns to assault rifles. A story time that kind of coincides with the safety topic that we're talking about happens to be, I have two, actually. Parties. I used to party a whole lot. When I first joined in the military and stuff like that, I would party all the time. I would go out on the weekends and stuff like that, sometimes even during the weekday after work, and I would go and party and party and party. Now, like clockwork, at a certain time of night, people started to get a little bit rowdy. I'd say about probably after 11 p.m., people got super rowdy. People were drunk. People were doing all kinds of things they had no business doing. And I felt like around that time, I'd say about midnight to 1 a.m. for sure, that those were like, I call those red zone hours. Red zone hours are when things were destined to pop off. Popping off meaning like something bad was going to go down. And one particular night, I remember me and my friends were all hanging out. We're at a party. We're all just, you know, hanging out, dancing and stuff like that. Two of my friends and I, like, we took a break. We wound up going outside. There was a fight that broke out, and the fight turned very quickly into gunshots aimed at the floor that we were on. We were on the second floor of this party, and individuals started opening fire at the second story that we were at, because some people were also causing a ruckus up on the floor that we were at. And mind you, it was pretty late at night, so I felt super unsafe. Obviously, everybody did. People were running. There were probably like 300 people at this party. I mean, there were so many people. There was only like a small, tiny fraction of people in the apartment that the party was intended for, and everybody else was on the ground level, on the stairs, on all of the balconies and stuff like that, taking up space. It was just really crazy, really crazy. So the next thing was at a bar. I heard like a few months ago, some people that I worked with went out, and, you know, they're having a good old time. These two people got into an altercation, and one of them pulled out a gun and opened fired, and one person got seriously injured. Like I said, people might ask why or how does this have anything to do with safety? Oh, it has a lot to do with safety. My question to you is, why do people feel the need to have a gun on them in the first place? There's several things that I don't understand when it comes to this gun culture that America has. A, why do you feel the need to have a gun on you? If you have one on you or not, that's totally your prerogative. But in my personal opinion, no one's posing a direct threat to you. There's no reason why you should have one on you, to be honest. Another thing that I have a huge problem with, that is a rising issue, and it has been for at least several decades now, and no one really talks about it like that, is people who have the possession of a gun that are under the influence. They're drunk or they're impaired by some kind of drug. And it sucks because it puts people like myself and others, it puts us at risk, because we don't know what you're going to do when you're completely blasted and you decide to show off your new pistol and stuff like that or whatever. Matter of fact, this leads me into my final story, and then we will talk about the second point and how America has messed me up. The final point, I've talked about this in a video. You can probably find this in this scenario, man. I went to a party that someone was throwing, and long story short, the owner was drunk, his roommate was drunk. The owner tried showing me his weapon while he was drunk, and I'm like, that's cool, bro, put that away. So he puts it away, but then his roommate comes out with a handgun and he's trying to show off his gun to me after I had just told the owner, like, hey bro, like, put that shit away, you know what I mean? So the roommate comes along and stuff like that, and he sees that I'm very nervous, and he's like, bro, there's no reason for you to be nervous, man. So the dude loads the gun, right? He wanted to prove to me that the gun wouldn't fire if he was drunk, because there was a safety on the back and a safety on the side, right? You have to turn the safety off on the side, which he did. So he's going to show me by pointing the gun at me and pulling the trigger that the gun wouldn't fire. What he didn't realize is, because he was drunk, his hand was on the thumb safety as well. So he disengaged the thumb safety, and he had already disengaged the main safety, and he pulled the trigger inches from my face, and all I saw was a white flash, and that's it. I saw a white flash, and all I heard was like the little flashbang sound. It scared the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I moved just enough out of the way as he did that for it to miss me, but it did go through the wall behind me, and there were two people in the bathroom behind that wall that the bullet entered. So they were okay too. They were just shocked because they also saw a bullet go through the bathroom that they were in, and I was completely mind blown. Needless to say, I've never been to a party after that, and I don't know, I felt like the false sense of security people have by owning a gun, that goes out the window because of situations like this. Does everybody do that though? No, but I do feel like in general, I feel like people should be a lot more mindful and a lot more careful when they have them, which is why I don't have them at all. I feel 10 times safer without it. I feel 10 times safer knowing that no one else around me has a weapon on them as well. This moves me into my next point, which is another way America has messed me up as far as my mentality and stuff like that, is healthcare. Obviously, you have probably tirelessly heard everyone else complain about healthcare. I know. Now, what I can tell you from experience as well is, one of the things you do not want to have happen, bro, is an ambulance ride. Now, I have another story I'll tell you guys. A while ago, a long time ago, can't tell you exactly when, I was out at a bar and I drank a little too much. What wound up happening was I wound up getting not blackout wasted, but I was close to getting blackout, right? So I lost control of my motor skills and stuff. I collapsed on the ground and started violently vomiting all over the place. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Fortunately, people helped me to my car, and they're like, hey bro, just drive home and you'll be fine. And in my head, I'm like, y'all see it, I'm throwing up, right? And y'all saw what I drank. Why would you tell me to go drive home? You're setting me up for failure. So I decided to have the genius idea of waiting outside my car until I got all of the alcohol out of my system. Now, I remember dry heaving and then blacking out. And then I woke up and then I see a cop shining a light in my face. He's like, hey son, what's your name? And then I remember trying to say my name and it came out like, and then I blacked out. I woke up and I was in an ambulance and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I was in an ambulance. I was on my way to a hospital. I was, oh my God, freaking the hell out. I'd say about a week or so later, I got a bill in the mail from the same hospital that all of this, went down. Well, I looked at just the cost of the ambulance ride. I didn't realize how close the hospital was to where the bar was. It was about like a 4 or 5 minute drive. For a 4 or 5 minute drive, I need you guys right now to let me know in the comments down below how much you think that would have costed. 4 or 5 minute drive. For a 4 to 5 minute drive, the ambulance ride from the bar to the hospital was $1,000 just for the ambulance ride, not for anything else, just for the ambulance ride alone. $1,000. At first I was gonna have to come up out of pocket, but y'all know your boy got that health insurance. Thank goodness it backed me up a little bit. I didn't have to pay any co-pays, Y'all know I'm in a service and stuff like that, so they take care of us. My point being, most people would be terrified because they will send that bill to you, and if you do not pay that bill in a certain time, they will send it to a collector, and I'm telling you, they're going to get that money one way or the other. Germany's healthcare system is a lot better. You guys have universal healthcare, I believe, and it's set up in such a way where even your co-pays are not very much at all, maybe 20, 30 euro. But for us, it's nutty. We basically have to front the entire bill because most of the insurance companies that we have try to get out of paying the people. Now, if you're in the military, it's a little different because the health insurance companies are more likely to help you out and whatnot. So most people are covered because when you're serving, you're considered government property. So they take very good care of you. In fact, all of the little things that people complain about not having as a regular American citizen, you have as a serving military member, like all the universal health care things and all the benefits that you would see in another country, you actually have as a service member in the United States military, which is amazing. But as a civilian, it's very, very different and very detrimental. So that's the other thing I wanted to discuss. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the time off culture, vacation time. It's crazy. So once again, I joined the military and stuff like that, and you earn 2.5 days of leave every month, which is a lot of time off. That's amazing. That's what a lot of people overseas do. Like it's 30 days a year you get off. That's amazing. Did not realize that's not a common thing here in the United States. It's not common. People normally earn hours, and a lot of times most places will only give you up to 2 weeks off in an entire year. Most places, and that's if they're being on the more generous side. You know, a lot of times some places will let you only have a week off of work in an entire year, depending on what your job is, which I find crazy. And what's even crazier is the fact that whenever you try to put in to take your days off, people give you this crazy look and they act like you're lazy. A lot of times when you leave to go on vacation, it's not paid time off. In the military, you get 2.5 days a month and it is paid time off. You're still getting paid while you're on your vacation. Your paycheck does not get stalled or halted or anything, which I think is a very beautiful thing. However, the culture of working yourself to death here in America is very much a thing, and it scared the hell out of me, man. Like, I mean, Korea also similarly too, they work incredibly hard as well. In fact, they don't have retirements like that at all. So they have to work literally until they're dead. Like, I mean, they work so that they can provide for their kids. Their kids have a nice little lavish life until they're old, and then they run out of their money, and all their paychecks and stuff like that go to their children. It's like a very tiring process and whatnot. However, it seems like the culture in Germany is in such a way that people value having time off. I mean, you guys have an entire day dedicated to just doing your own thing. You know what I mean? Like Sundays, no one gets bothered, blah, blah, blah. Also, you have a really nice culture where if you're done with work, you don't get contacted outside of work for anything work related. If you are on your own time, your work center is not allowed to talk to you. That's cool. They don't do that here, bro. If you're off of work and there's still some work related stuff that needs to be done, guess who they're calling? They're calling you, chief. That's just how it is here. So it's very unfortunate that that's a thing. Definitely messed me up a little bit. All in all, I'm breaking out of that like, you know, mindset and stuff and realizing the reality of my situation. However, whenever I move to different countries and live there for a little bit, I'm a lot more open-minded knowing what I know now. If I never jumped down this German learning rabbit hole and diving into the culture, the language, whatever, and then especially the cultural differences between the US and America, I feel like I would have been slightly less open-minded as far as my approach to the entire world. You know what I mean? So those are three things that definitely messed your boy up a lot, and I'm pretty sure they've messed up a lot of my friends and they don't even realize it. There's a lot more I can get into, but those are 3 points I wanted to let you guys know about and stuff, and you can let me know if those resonated with anybody. Let me know in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hopefully this was not a little conversation. I know some people are going to get a little heated and whatnot, and those mainly might be the people that live in the same country as I.